Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of MotoHead Talking to the Champions. I'm Adam Duckworth, and with me is Dave Willett, our ace test rider, and a very special guest this time is world champion, MXGP champion, 4 times world champion, Tim Gajser. Hello, Tim.
Hey guys.
Hello, Tim.
Whereabouts are you in the world at the moment, Tim?
Yeah, basically I'm in Sardinia, prepping for 2021. So yeah, everything is going good so far. We've been testing. We are planning to do some tests in the upcoming weeks. We also get new schedule, so they delay a little bit the championship. So we're gonna start quite late in the end of May. So yeah, everything is going so far good, and I really can't wait that we finally go racing again. So yeah.
I mean, obviously the new schedules come out, and you were planning, I believe, to race the Italian Championship before the GPs, but are those plans changed now because of the Grand Prix starting later?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, today we had a meeting with the team and everybody. And we decide to not do Italian championship races because basically these kind of races are good, to get into the race rhythm, to do a couple of races before the world championship start. And that's, now when they delay everything, it's kind of like not necessary to risk and race because we're going to go racing in about 3 months. So we still have a lot of time. So yeah, we change our plans a little bit. So we're not gonna do 3 races in Italy.
Is that obviously to keep yourself, to keep everything working right for when that, when the gate drops for the GP season? So that's to, keep yourself running like a oiled slick machine when the GPs start.
Yes, I mean, yeah, it's always like that, usually we do these kind of races, like I said before, to warm up yourself because we have that long break during the winter. And now, yeah, like we said, with all the delays that we have, with the schedule and everything, it's not necessary to risk because, always when you go on the race is a risk. And we don't need to do these kind of races now. Hopefully they will make some races before we're gonna start in May. These kind of races, pre-season preparation races. So we will be able to get back in the race rhythm before we start with the World Championship.
So just, the GP season, obviously, with the calendar being kind of delayed again because it was delayed last year. If the calendar hadn't got delayed last year, would you have been riding the Supercross again this year, the start of this year?
I'm not sure about that, but definitely I would do Monster Cup like I did in 2019 because I really like Supercross also. But honestly, I don't think I will do Supercross. Even if the last year races were not delayed, if we will stick with the normal schedule and everything. So I don't think.
Why wouldn't you have done Supercross? Because I mean, last year you did so well at it. We was watching, and the improvement that you made from Monster Cup, like it was impressive.
Yeah, I mean, let's say it's completely different thing from motocross, and doing a full-time MXGP series, we start with our preparations in about the end of November, beginning of December. And if I want to do Supercross, then I have to go to America around October. So basically I don't get any off time. Then go testing there, getting ready for Supercross, and then I would not have enough time to prepare for MXGP, So it's kind of like, it's difficult, or you do just Supercross or you do just motocross. I think that's what it is, It's difficult to focus on both, Supercross and motocross.
So you're focusing hard for another world title. you want to defend the world title?
Yes, that's the plan, you know, that's the goal, definitely. I'm super motivated, so I will give my best.
Have you been watching, Goran? Sorry, Adam, you go.
I was going to say, you always talked about, or there was always stories that you wanted to do MXGP and perhaps win that, and then go to America, say do like Jean-Michel Bale did and buy all the American championships. Is that out of your mind now, or for the future?
I mean, maybe I put these kind of like American dreams, you know, on the side. You know, I still like Supercross. You know, when I have time, I like to go to Supercross track. But at the moment, I'm focusing more on the motocross. You know, more on the GP series. But you never know what the future brings, so we will see.
I mean, you're already very young, already with 4 world championships. What people say, you could be the greatest of all time. Would you like to beat Stefan Evans's 10 world championships, or Tony Caroli's, or what's your long-term? Do you have a long-term?
I mean, definitely, that's a dreams, you know. But I'm always. I mean, like I take season by season. Don't want to rush, but you know, we are on a good way. You know, we already have 4 world titles. Still, hopefully, you know, long career ahead of me, and then we will see. We will see. I will try to give my best every year. Try to be injury free. I think that's the most important thing, to be healthy, because you know, if you are healthy, you can improve all the time. You can get just better every year. So yeah, just a moment.
No problem. Yeah, these are good moments. Are you using that phone for the lighting, Tim? Was you using that phone for the?
Sorry?
Was you using that phone for the lighting to get the lighting on your face?
No. We have little light over here.
It could have been. It could have been HRC in America saying Chase Sexton bike is available for the next Supercross round in Orlando.
I don't.
I mean, yes, it's a definitely a good offer. But you know, like I said, you know, from the experience, I have a little experience from Supercross. I've been 2 times at Monster Cup. So I know that, you know, testing suspensions and everything, you know, to adapting to Supercross, it's really important, you know, because it's completely different, you know, if you compare Supercross and motocross from all points of view, you know, from how to set up the bike, technique, everything, you know, different races, you know, shorter kind of like sprints. So you have to be ready, you know. You can just jump on the plane, go there, do a race, and came back. So yeah.
It's surprising you know you saying that, because obviously you know, it seemed that, like Adam said, that your focus was to go to America and to ride in you know, to do the Supercross, and it seemed like, you know, for a few years that was one of your, like you said, it's your dream, your focus, and now for you to experience it and for you to do well, you know, like, you know, because you was running at the sharp end there, and then obviously to speak to you now and you have a totally different kind of mindset and focus. So yeah, so it's a little bit surprising, but at the same time, it's quite refreshing, really, because obviously you're going to stay in Europe, and by the sounds of it, it seems like you do want to take some more world titles. So that's
hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you know, it seems to me like with HRC here and with Garibaldi, you know, team, I kind of like found my family, you know. I really feel good in the team, you know, with all the people working around me. So it's, you know, when you really enjoy, you know, when you enjoy riding and you are happy where you are, it's difficult to change this, you know. So that's why maybe also these kind of things help that I stay here in Europe.
That's nice. It's humble. It's good. I mean, one of the things the stories that I always like to hear was Adam. I think you'll know about this story as well. That we heard from Roger Harvey. You know, when Tim first won his world title, MX2 was it 2015, and yeah, did like your bonus at the end? Did you request a JCB like to work on the track, to work on your home track? Is that what you wanted?
Sorry, I didn't understand correctly.
Yeah, so did you want a JCB at the end of that year? So I think you'd won the World Championship in 2015 in MX2.
Yes.
And then did you ask for a JCB? From
the HRC?
Yeah, no, a digger, like a JCB digger. You wanted a digger to buy a digger to work on your track.
Yes, I bought it after. I mean, yes, because my father was always working on the track. Like on the beginning, we didn't have a lot, and when we signed with HRC, we kind of like start to live normally and everything. I get all support from HRC and good contract and everything. So we were able to buy JCB Bobcat. And then it was way more easier to make the track, to prep the track, to make it, to change every week a little bit, some jumps. So that was definitely a big plus, because otherwise when you ride, I mean, like for months the same track, you kind of like get boring. And now, when I get this toy, let's say, my father could change the track every week, and was way more enjoyable, and I was enjoying more when I went to ride.
So Jeffrey Herlings buys a Lamborghini and you buy a Bobcat.
Yeah, that was back in 2015. So yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm this kind of guy that don't need a lot, of course. I try to, sometimes if I win some titles, I try to buy some gift for me, but I don't need a lot to be happy. So, I'm kind of like coming from a poor family. We didn't have a lot, like I said. So I appreciate everything a lot, especially now when I can live my dreams.
Cool. Right. If we talk about a little bit about the Supercross, have you been watching the Supercross?
Yes, I've been watching. I've been following.
So obviously, so with obviously with Ken doing so well at the moment, he seems to be a bit of a different rider. More, this time round. I know you predicted he might win last year, and after their break, but it didn't seem to work out. But he seems to have ironed out them bugs so far. And obviously holding the red plate. What's your take on the Supercross at the moment? What are you finding? What are you finding interesting? What's making you tick?
Yeah, like you said, Kenny seems really strong. He won last 3 races. He's riding really smooth. It kind of like looks really easy from outside. But at the same time, he's really fast and consistent, and I think that's really important. He also got good starts, what is really important, because so many good riders. So if you are on the start in front, you can write your lines. You can just pick your lines and then try to find the flow and just ride the race. So yeah, with Kenny, I'm not surprised. I kind of like expect from him to be good, because already in the past years he always showed that he has a speed. I think what was missing was that consistency, during all the season. But I think this year he seems really strong, and of course I'm cheering for him.
When you watch Ken ride, as a professional rider, what do you notice? Why is he winning? Does he do anything different to the other riders? Is there a little edge he has somewhere? Because obviously all the riders are very fast, but yet right now he seems to have the edge. Can you spot what it is that makes him so good at the moment?
I think, he became that just a couple of months ago. I think that changed him a lot. I think becoming a parent And also it seems like he started to enjoy way more riding, you know. He's enjoying a lot, you know. You can see from his stories, you know, from his posts on social media that he's really enjoying his life. And I think that's definitely a big key to success, you know, because you have to have fun, you know, you have to enjoy it. And if you are having fun, then you can go fast, you know. I always say like that.
Also as well, like the bike, this year's bike, that's got to play a big part to Kenny, because he just seems to be really confident on that bike. And one of the biggest things that he always says is that, you know, it's just so predictable. And you know, that's one of the, I personally for myself watching, you know, when you watch the videos before the Supercross started, Kenny looked so fast and could move real easy on the bike. You know, do you think, you know, that's the new bikes played a massive part in Kenny being, or should I say, Kenny finding that edge?
Yes, I think yes, because also from my my experience, I can see that, you know, with the new bike, like I said, you know, the bike is more predictable, it's easier, it's lighter, you know, have more torque, easier to ride. So definitely it helps a lot, you know, to be even more smoother on the track, you know. So yeah, I would say also the bike is important, and you know, it's kind of like, I think, suits him better than maybe previous models. But of course, you know, I always say that, you know, in motocross and supercross, the bike is, let's say, around 30-40%. I think the guy who is sitting on the bike makes a difference. So definitely Kenny is working hard, you know, he's fit, he's in good shape, and yeah, that's why he's winning.
Do you ever have any conversations with him in the season? Do you talk to Ken? Or?
Yes, when I was at the Monster Cup, we've been testing together one day. Actually, that was the first time that we met, and we have a conversation. We speak a little bit, and yeah, he seems a good guy, you know. So yeah, it was cool.
But he's not your friend. You don't text each other after every race or anything. He's not your big buddy, and you.
After every race, no, but maybe sometimes, especially when we get new bikes here in Europe, you know. Last year on the beginning of the season, we text each other, you know. He asked me how is the new bike, and I asked him like when they will be able to ride the new bikes there in America, because they were able to get the bikes just in last year in November, October or something like that. They start to test the new bikes. So about the bike, yeah, we talk a little bit, just to give him some feedbacks, you know, from me, how I feel on the bike, these kind of things.
Yeah, because the new Honda was developed in Europe, eh? That's what we've heard.
Yes.
So, yeah, the bike you got at the start of 2020, you know, essentially what Ken is kind of riding now, you developed that all through the year.
Yes.
Did you make?
Yeah, I mean, with Honda, you know, it's always like they are always focusing couple layers ahead, you know. So, you know, from us riders, they are asking us, you know, to give the feedbacks, whatever we want to change, you know, where we think that we can improve the bike, where the bike can be even better. And, you know, from these kind of feedbacks that I and also Mitch gives, they try to develop the bikes. So yeah.
So the bike you started 2020 with, compared to the bike you finished the season with, were there many changes to it? Were there detail changes, or was there different frames and different swing arms and different suspension and different engines? Because obviously to us the bike looked similar, but were there big changes or just detail changes?
I would say that immediately when I sit on new bike, I felt home. I mean, like, you know, back in November 2019, it was the first test when I sit on new bike. And from then on, you know, definitely we try different things, you know, try to adopt, try to adjust the bike like I want. But quickly we found the good setup, you know, the good things. So during the season, we didn't really change a lot because I was quite happy with the bike. So there was not need to change something because I was happy and I was enjoying and I was feeling one with the bike. So yeah.
I mean, you've been going fast on that bike, but Tim, like you know, when the problem of going so fast is when you do have a moment or a crash, you do have a crash, don't you?
Yes.
I mean,
I had some big ones.
Yeah, I mean, a few years back at that time, I mean, I can't remember seeing you do a race with a complete peak on your crash helmet. I thought you was a big fan of Ronnie Mack.
No, I mean, yeah, it was. I think it was in 2018 when I lost many visors. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you know, I had many crashes. Even that season, you know, in the beginning of the season, I get injured. Then I kind of like never been 100% during the season. So yeah, I mean, I was not riding good. Even like, you know, I felt that.
I think the thing that I always forget, and I think a lot of people do forget, is because you seem like such a veteran, you know, and you're 24. So yes. So actually, you know, you kind of forget your age all the time, you know, regarding on that front, you know. So when you're compared to, you know, to different riders, you know, you've got 9 world titles or 10 world titles, you know, they're always a little bit older. So you know, so they're maturing a little bit more. So, you know, so you've still got a lot of time to mature, really, haven't you?
Yes, I mean, of course, I have a couple of years, you know, in the GPs since 2014. I think 14 was my first year. Of course, I get a couple of experience, you know, from this year's racing, but you know, you always make a mistakes, and I think the point is that, you know, when you make a mistake, you try to go back, you try to see the mistake and try to not repeat it next time. Of course, it's easier to say that to do that, but you know, of course, I think everybody is doing like that. You know, try to learn from the mistakes that you did and you never repeated. You know, in the future. But that's how it is. You know, that's motocross. You know. Also, one point is like if you never risk, you will never improve. You know, yourself. So if you never go over yourself, you know, if you always ride in the let's say in a comfortable zone, you know, let's say around 95%, you will never improve yourself. So yeah, but of course, you know, it's never nice when you crash, you know, when you get hurt. So definitely it's really important to find the balance between, you know, when you have to push, when you have to go a little bit over self, but also when you have to back it up, you know, when you know. And that's definitely now when I'm getting older, you know, with the experience, I kind of like, you know, maybe if you watch Team in 2015 when I went all out, you know, even if I crash or no, now maybe I will think a little bit, maybe twice, and I will finish the race maybe 3rd, 4th, or 5th, take the points, and will be better. You know, maybe in 2015 I will try to win, and you know, if not, maybe crash and DNF the race. So you know, these kind of things you learn through the career, you know, with experience and getting older.
Was that part of your plan this year, last year, when the Grand Prix restarted? You know, that we restarted in Latvia and Italy, and you weren't the dominant rider like you were towards the end of the season. You know, you were obviously up near the front, but you weren't seeming to risking it. Did you find it difficult when the season restarted?
I think it was difficult for everyone. You know, it was something new to everyone. You know, we never experienced that before, to have, let's say, off season in the middle of the season. We had a break more than 5 months, something like that, and it was difficult to, you know, in this kind of periods to really know how to train, to not overtrain yourself, you know, to keep in good shape. So, you know, when we came back in Latvia, I kind of like, I was not really 100%, you know, I was around 80%. And then with the races, when the races go on, you know, I kind of like start to get back into the rhythm. I need a couple of races, you know, and but after that month, well, when I won first GP of the season, then I get my confidence back, and from then on, you know, everything went in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're 4 times world champ, Tim, you know, like, and so yeah, there's not many people that can say that, and you're 24 years of age, so it's pretty impressive there, isn't it? Pretty impressive stats. But who do you, I mean, I know Adam's got some questions for you, but just quickly, who do you think is going to be top 3 Supercross this weekend, just so we can keep it a little bit on track with Supercross before we indulge back into a bit of MXGP talk?
I would say Kenny will win. Webb, no, I will go with Tomac second, and Cincerulo third.
Good shout.
Yeah,
good shout. Go on, Adam.
I was going to talk about in the Supercross, obviously in the 250 class, you know, Jet Lawrence seems to have so much pressure on him. I mean, obviously, really, really fast. What advice would you give to Jet Lawrence? Because obviously he's, you know, having a tough time. Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good
now. Yeah.
Okay, can you repeat the question, because I didn't hear? Can you repeat the question?
In the 250s in the States, Jet Lawrence is obviously really fast, but has had a few problems. What advice would you give to him?
Jet is really young, you know. I think he's 16 or 17 years of age, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like he have a lot of pressure already, you know, on him. Definitely, he have a speed. He show that. I mean, he's showing that every week. It's just kind of like consistency, you know. He just have to put together the race, you know, all 15 minutes plus 1 lap. So definitely, you know, I would say to him maybe to calm down a little bit before the race. Try to not think about, you know, race. I mean, like, try to not think about, you know, winning or, you know, all the other things around. Try to just focus on the racing, on yourself, and just go out there and enjoy, you know. I think that's the most important thing, to enjoy, you know, what you love to do. And definitely that's a good advice.
That is, yeah, sounded that. I mean, that you were pretty much in that position now at once upon a time, wasn't you? I think Jet's 18, I think, isn't he? I think that's what he is. I think he's 18.
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, still, like you say, there seems to be a lot of pressure. I mean, he does seem to be coping with the pressure as well, doesn't he? But you know, the media, everybody, all, you know, even Supercross Live, you know, everybody, they all want a piece of Jet, don't they? Because, you know, whatever that kid's attached to, it seems to be getting massive traction everywhere, because everybody seems to be quite keen in what he does and who he is, and
yes,
as a person. So, but one of the going. Let's see, if we go back to being quite humble, Tim. You know, in your country, what I want to know is, how difficult is it for you just to go and get, like, is it difficult for you to just go and get some milk from the shop?
I mean, like, yes, everybody knows me because I live in a small village. Even like when I go in the city, you know, we are a small country. We are just a little bit over 2 million in all the country together. So basically, yes, everywhere where I go, you can see the people turning around, you know, waving. Even when I go on the highway, you know, when I ride in the car, you know, they are waving to me. But that's fun. I mean, I wave back because that feels good, you know. So it's cool. I'm enjoying.
Do you feel? I mean, I think I know the answer to this, so I can ask it. But like, do you feel then a full-on celebrity? You know.
I mean, like, you know, I try to be humble. I try to be the same team like I was before all these titles. You know, you know, even on the races and everywhere, you know, I try to take time for everyone. You know, take a picture, sign the poster. You know, to me, it doesn't really feel like a celebrity, you know, person, but like, you know, of course, I'm known. You know, from many people know me, but you know, I'm just the same team like I was before, and I think that's really important.
I think that's what's made you even more so popular in your country, though. But go on.
There must be some, you know, you obviously earn a good amount of money, and you're, you know, a celebrity in your own country. What's the most celebrity thing you've done? You must have done something that was a kind of a rock star thing to do.
I don't know. Many things. I mean, like many times I like to help people, you know, especially the people that need help. You know, so I help a lot, you know, as much as I can. You know, so I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. You've also as well. Did you paint? What colour's the front of your house? Or did you, you know, because I've heard of, you know what I'm asking, why I asked that question, don't you?
I mean, my house now at the moment is white, but I think you are asking about my my family house. You know, the family house is red yellow with 243 on the front. So that's the house where my father is living and my family, you know. But now when I move I mean, like move to my house a couple of years ago, I have just like white color, normal.
Fair enough.
That's pretty cool. You must have a guilty pleasure, though. I mean, you train hard, and you know, you ride hard, and you do all these great things. You must have a guilty pleasure. Do you know what a guilty pleasure is?
No, I don't know what that is.
A guilty pleasure, like, do you secretly eat lots of chocolate, or do you like to go to nightclubs, or you know, that sort of stuff? A guilty pleasure.
I mean, I don't really have it, but sometimes I like chocolate, like you said. You know, even during the season, sometimes in the evening, especially if I have a good race, if I win, then I can get one chocolate. So.
Ooh. What a treat.
Yes.
But
so I mean, like
Jean-Michel Bayard, I believe that if the story's true there, I mean, he used to have a can of Coke, didn't he, as a treat, and a Kit Kat. I think that was kind of, you know, something that he used to have. But also as well, he used to have the can of Coke, I think, as energy, didn't he, for the race in the States. But yeah. So
okay.
Is that?
I like Kinder, you know, chocolates Kinder.
Yeah.
Yes, I love them.
Yeah. fair shout. What one of the questions that I got asked to ask you was, do you ride mini bikes or any other type of bikes? I mean, yeah, obviously you must cycle a mountain bike. I've seen that you do a lot of that. But do you ride any kind of mini bike, any other bike other than the motocross bike?
I have pit bike at my house. Basically, that's not mine. It's from my girlfriend, Spela. So sometimes we go to ride a little bit in the woods. I have also 250 two-stroke. It's kind of like just for collection. Maybe I take this bike out once a year, twice maximum, to ride a little bit on the track. And also I bought last year in the winter time 500 two-stroke,
Yes.
86.
Yeah, that was another question that somebody asked me. They said ask him if he's ever ridden a CR500, and I was just like, yeah.
I didn't, but definitely now when we are like rebuilding that bike, after definitely I will try a couple of laps.
You've just you've gone from here to here now in the
Yes, my plan is also like when I finish with rebuilding that 500s two-stroke, I would like to buy 125 and to rebuild it also that one. So I have all two strokes from 125 to 500 as a collection, you know, because I like the sound and everything. So
I can relate to that because I've got a 1988 CR125 that I have to restore. I've got a 1989 250 that needs to be restored as well. But I currently have a CR500 which is restored.
Okay.
So yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice bikes.
Yeah.
I'm so old. I used to ride an 85 CR500 when it was new. That's the bad one. That's the scary one. Every year they made them a bit more mellow, But the 85, that's when you're a real man, you'll get yourself an 85.
Okay. I have 86, so 1 year older. 1986.
Yeah. It's a little bit more mellow. The 85 is the man's bike.
Okay.
Perhaps your dad can have an 85.
One of our highest videos on YouTube, okay, on which this will be going onto YouTube, okay, this interview, is a CR500 going down the Western Beach, okay, and that was in 1996. I believe it was 96. I'm sure it was 94 and 96, but we'll go with 96.
96.
Yeah, that was when you was born.
Yes, that's my year.
Yeah, so it's all good. Well, we're going back to MXGP, Tim. Are you ever going to ride a two-stroke there? No, I'm joking. Who do you in the championship? Obviously, you've got all your main normal rivals or competitors who you know are gonna be there. Right. My question is: there's always one that you never really predict or expect, but there's always one that's a kind of a bit of a shocker. You know, my question is, like, do you see anybody that could be a shocker in the MX1 class? You know, out of the ordinary. You know.
I don't know. Like, definitely, you know, the class MXGP is really stocked with the talent. You know, so many good riders. Especially now with that rule, you know, when all the riders from MX2 have to came to MXGP when they are like 23. So we will see, you know, because I think this year Watson is coming, Olson is coming. Both of them, they are like quite tall guys, heavier. So from my point of view, I think the 450 will suit them better. So we will see how these guys gonna do. But we have like, you know, like we have also like Jeffrey, like Prado, I think is gonna be really good this year. Tony still, you know, I think Roman Febre also is good, you know. So many good guys that are able to win the races, you know, able to win, to fight for the title. So it's gonna be, I think, really interesting season. So yeah.
Which competitor do you either respect or fear the most? If there's one, if you start the race and you're in second place, who do you not want to be in front of you?
I mean, I have respect to everyone who is on the gate, you know. I think that's the most important thing, to have a respect to everyone, because without respect there is not racing. But definitely one of the biggest I mean, like one of the biggest competition to me is, you know, through all career was Jeffrey. You know, we were like growing together. We were racing 65, 85, then MX2, now MXGP. So yeah, let's say Jeffrey. Yeah.
I mean, he obviously this year had his crash and then had his foot injury, and he's saying that has made him a little bit slower the past year or two because he was riding defensively because of his foot. Do you think that's mind games? Is he playing mind games with you, or do you think that's genuinely the case?
I don't know. I mean, I think he's the only person that know that answer, you know. So anyway, we will see. You know, he was riding good when he came back. Even this season, you know, he was fast. So we will see next year. I mean, like next year, this year, 2021. I hope we will be all, you know, fit, in shape, healthy, and we're gonna have a good season of racing. You know.
Good battle.
Yeah.
We need it as well, don't we? We need some good strong racing. Not that we haven't had it.
Yes.
It would be nice to see you all racing hard together. But I suppose on that note, okay, you remember, so when Ken had Barsha at the first round and he come to in the turn a couple of times to look like he was going to make the pass at Houston, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Question for you. You know, would you have rolled off the throttle there at that position, or would you have gone for the pass?
Difficult question. I mean, you know, I think Kenny could win that race.
Yeah.
If he would be a little bit more aggressive, but you have to know also, like Barsha is actually aggressive rider. So, you know, if you make a contact, you kind of like expect the payback every time. So, you know, and also one thing is that was the first race of the series, you know. I think 3 points, you know, I think for first place they got like 26 and then 23 for second place or something like that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make such a big change, you know, in the beginning. I think it's important that, especially through first couple of rounds, you just get with the good points. And maybe that's why Kenny didn't want to make a pass, you know, dirty pass, because they were both riding quite similar pace. And if Kenny decided to make a pass, I think he would need to go for a block pass, you know. So I think that's why he didn't decide to pass him, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a good overlook, really, because he definitely you've got I don't know how Barsha does it, but he is exactly like you just said. When someone passes him, he just seems to find that next line just to make the pass back.
It seems like he just go over his hat just to make that pass back, you know. Yeah. Doesn't matter if they both crash, just that he gives the payback.
yeah. So I mean, and like you say, Kenny now, you know, in hindsight, you know, looking back, he made the right decision because he's the points leader.
Yes, exactly.
So
who in motocross, who in MXGP is who's the Justin Barsha? Who's the guy who will ride over his head, who might push hard? Who do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it's difficult to say because, like I said, you know, motocross, supercross is completely different, two different things, you know. Supercross, you have to be more aggressive because the tracks are shorter, the tracks are more narrow. In motocross, it's kind of like you can predict the pass couple of corners before, you know, you can make a nice clean pass because also the tracks are wider. You have more line selections. So it's difficult to say, but, you know, from my point of view, the toughest guys on the track to pass, but not that they were dirty, you know, they were just like all over the place. You know, they know how to block the guys. Where like the Sal was good, you know, to blocking the guys. It was really difficult to pass him. Even with Gauthier, you know, Pauline, I always struggled to pass him because he make bike wide, you know, on the track. It was difficult to pass him. But they were not dirty riders, you know. So it's difficult to say that someone was too aggressive or too dirty.
That's a good answer because they both left Grand Prix this year, so they can't.
He doesn't want to. No, he's just starting his season. He doesn't want to. You know, he doesn't need to be making enemies before the gates even drop. You know? I was going to say, Tim, don't answer that question. No, you don't do it.
It could be if you can't name somebody like that. It might be you.
Maybe from some different rider point of view, maybe I am a dirty guy. So, but I mean, like from myself, I never pass the guy. I mean, like I always try to find a place on the track where it's safe to pass. Because, and also I never make a first block pass, you know. Of course, you know, you give a payback if someone start to play dirty games with you, you know, if they came and start to break, you know, in the corner or something like that, you know, then you give the payback. But I'm that kind of rider that never starts first, you know. I try to pass the guys as smooth as possible, you know, if on the safe place.
I think one of the greatest GPs I've seen you in was in Arco with you and Tony Caroli.
Yes.
A few years ago, and it was such a great race, and you were so close, and you passed and repassed, but it was clean, well, relatively clean.
I think it was clean. I think we barely touched. I think we didn't touch. I remember we touched in Mantova 2016. That was also a nice battle. There we touched a couple of times. But in Arco in 2019, I don't remember touching. We made many passes during the race. But all the passes were clean, you know, nice. So.
That leads to my. I've only got one more question because we're going to be out of time soon. So that was kind of my last question from you. What's your most memorable race of your career today?
Definitely the one that we mentioned a couple of seconds ago in Arco. That was really nice race, you know, especially because I won the GP on the end, and even it was nice battle. Also the pace that we were riding with Tony at that race was so high, because I think we were around 1 minute ahead of third place rider. So the pace was big, you know. We were pushing towards the end. The best lap times were on the end, on the last lap. So I think Arco is one of my favorite races, and also it's really nice to watch. I watch it many times. Yeah.
So my last question would be, if you had to choose between, you can say this year, you can beat Tony Caroli in Italy somewhere with a race like from Arco the other year, or you can beat Jeffrey Herlings at Lommel. Yeah?
Jeffrey Lommel.
That was fast. That was a fast.
Because I beat Tony already in Italy a couple of times, so I never beat Jeffrey in Lommel. So definitely that's. Yeah, I will go Lommel.
You've been practicing a lot at you know, in the sand tracks I've seen of late. You're looking
fantastic.
Yeah, you're looking, you know, it looks like you've got the knack of getting across the top of them sand bumps pretty good at the moment.
Yes, last couple of years I really focus, you know, on the sand tracks, try to get better there, because in the past I was always kind of like struggling. It was always like, you know, when I know that the sand race is coming, it was like the mentality was like just survive that week and then we go on. And you know, I know that I had to do something about that, because you have to be good in all kinds of terrains. So I really focus a lot, you know, how to set up the bike, about the technique, because it's completely different. Riding way more in the sand. And now I really enjoy, you know, I always enjoy when I go on the sand. So yes, hard work always pays off.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay.
Cool.
So
Oh, great.
well, I'm going to wish you all the luck then anyway for this season, Tim. And
Thank you.
Adam, do you want to finish off there?
Yeah. Yeah, just say thank you very much to Tim Gajser, the world champion. And we wish him all the best. And we hope that we can all go and watch some races this year, because that would be the greatest thing for motocross, if you can actually all go and have spectators at all the races.